Welcome to the Besty and Smoke podcast, the BS podcast. How are you doing today? We really do hope and pray that you are on top of your world today, especially getting into the brand new 2025. Things are happening. We hope the new year is bringing you fortune. That's good fortune and great blessings. Over here, we are blessed, and I am hanging with my co-host, the B in the BS.
Yeah, of course, the B in the BS, and you're welcome to the Besty and Smoke podcast. It's still 2025, still afresh, and I hope you haven't forgotten the promises you made to yourself at the beginning of this year.
That's right. For those who are fond
Into New Year resolutions.
fond of making themselves declarative pronouncements as to how they will live their lives moving forward. Nothing wrong in that. Okay,
Just take it seriously.
yeah, the fun lies in actually
Seeing it to the end.
sticking to it. So jumping into the new year, how you feeling about everything?
I wouldn't say I'm feeling different. I really don't feel like I expected I would be feeling.
How did you expect to feel?
I wanted to feel new in some
How
type
do
of
you
way.
want to feel new when you are getting old?
Honey, I am hoping that I'm aging like fine wine, so please. And getting old is not a bad thing. You can still feel fresh when you're old, while you're getting old.
That's right. Young and hot.
I don't say younger hat. Okay, I am from the beginning of time old at heart. Like I'm like vintage, honey. But I mean, you said it like when you're getting old. Like getting old should be something I should be worried about. I'm not worried about that, so to say. But I'd like to look, fine while getting old, if you know what I mean.
You and everybody else. So, how are you doing today?
Kicking. I mean,
You ready to rock and roll?
yes, I am. So let's get into it.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
So, today we're talking about the question. This is a paramount question. It's something that when you're looking from the outside in, I'm talking about marriage, talking about when you are not married and you're looking at married folk, and it seems like they have something, they have a deal, they have a good deal, they have something going on, right? That was the way we used to look at all of that stuff back when we were single. But we want to address a principal question about intimacy in marriage. Okay. For the longest time, we've been taking these baby steps into the entire marriage experience. We started with things happening outside and then stepping right into things happening immediately inside the marriage. And then we taking steps deeper into the experience, the entire experience itself. And we've hinted at intimacy in a couple of the past episodes we've worked on, right? Today, we want to take a different route to looking at intimacy.
Yes.
Passion, that zest, that all over the place. Like you can't.
Passion is for you?
What?
Sorry. I'm just in the mood to make you angry.
Okay. You heard that.
I'm sorry. It's not like I'm just in the mood to irritate you. I think it's going to make me feel good because I don't feel good and I think you're the fault, you're the cause. So I think I want to make you feel how I'm feeling. Anyways, you were saying, continue, please.
All right. So, are we looking at when the passion dies?
Yeah, when it fades.
When it fades, and it seems as though a couple have lost that connection, the spark that lights the fire in their relationship.
The flame is now burning
Very low at its lowest ebb.
And sometimes it's very discouraging because you have made that promise to spend the rest of your life with this person and they're not doing quite anything that would warrant you to want to walk away. It's just that the passion there, the excitement, the thing that should actually give you that, tingly feeling once in a while in the pit of your belly is no longer there. You start asking yourself, how can you get back to that place when this person rocked your world?
Yeah, that description sounded also true.
Sorry?
That description back there sounded also true. Like,
Nigga, please. You're trying to make it about you now.
nah, man, it was like came from the pit of your stomach.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
But that saying it did will give you credit. No, it did not.
Nah, man, it felt as though you actually lost your passion.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
It sounded like.
Yeah, it sounded like you were speaking from experience.
No. I am not speaking from experience right now, but I would say that I understand how that could happen to someone.
Okay. I hope that's not damage control you're doing there.
Oh dear Lord.
So when that happens to you, when you look at someone you are in a relationship, your spouse, right? And you can't seem for the man, you can't seem to get it up. You can't seem to muster up enough appetite to do the chasing.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really care about any of that. The chemistry seems to be gone. And you guys are roommates now.
Yeah, you know, the thing that is, there are some times you can't get enough of each other. Some people would say you can't get enough of each other. You can't have enough of this person.
Yeah. So when it seems as though the flames are dead or burning very low,
yeah,
that's the question we're asking.
How do you ignite it?
How do you reignite?
Reignite it back.
The flame. Yeah. What happens when passion fades in marriage? So we have like 5 reasons why passion could fade in marriage. So if you're going through that right now, and you wonder what the heck is going on, we're going to bring to you 5 reasons why that could be happening in your marriage, right? But not to worry, because we have the full package as well. We have 5 ways that you can bring back
the
passion to your marriage.
The passion back.
And you have to stick around because we have the number 1 formula that rules them all, that brings everything right back and makes everything feeling so brand new.
We call it Isia Furukwabo.
That's right. Yeah. So let's get into it, like she would say.
You're taking this away from me.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS. Okay, of course, 5 reasons why passion would fade in marriage. 1 is when the honeymoon phase ends. 2 is when you start taking each other for granted. 3, lack of communication. 4, stress and life demands. 5, neglecting physical intimacy. Let's start with the first one.
When the honeymoon phase, and you know that fresh thing when you find a fresh thing, when you find a fresh toy.
I think that was on the first episode that we had this in Jofo now or Mamiri.
That's right.
Yeah, when the stuff is new, it's like a new toy. When a child gets a new toy, it's fresh, it's new. So that newness of it, you want to really know what it's built with, what everything in it.
Yeah, you're enjoying it at that moment. Your experience, everything you're doing revolves around that. So
and it's exciting.
Yeah, for marriage, it's the honeymoon phase. The phase when you are newly married and everything is fresh. You're really beginning to get in the same space. Supposing you were living apart before you got married, you now are living together, and it's still fresh. It's still I was about to say strange, but not really strange.
Not really strange. It's when
it's new and just out of the box, and you're exploring it. You love the fact of you walking. If you're a man, you're walking out of the room, and the woman is in the kitchen cooking with her bomb shots on, and you spank it, right? Have you seen those videos where
I have, and I
first week in the relationship, 1 month in the relationship, 2 years in the relationship. So the first week in the relationship.
With irritation, it ends with you being comfortable,
apathetic,
taking things for granted.
Okay.
You guys have seen each other finish. As we talk, I'm here. You don't see each other finish. Okay, so it's now like you guys can even be while the person is taking their bath, you're using the toilet.
Yeah,
but that's not something you could actually do at the first stage of the marriage because you're still trying to package. Okay, then you can easily because I think I saw one where the guy came in first. The first week was the girl being all fine. Second week, I can't remember the second, but the one was like the girl removed her undies and her bra, then pushed her like she's trying to free the girls. So the guy was looking at her like, how did we get to you feeling like you can just
I think in a Nigerian experience is when the woman begin to tie wrapper for house. Okay, so she doesn't wear nice gowns anymore, nothing sexy, no bum shorts anymore. So she wear wrapper. She go just tie wrapper for chest, right? Nothing else underneath, no sexiness going on, just that.
But
walking all over the place.
The thing is, I do remember a man who said that, older man actually, he said that in their days, that when a woman is tying wrapper, and you know there was nothing underneath that wrapper she's tying, that was the sexiest stuff for them.
It was good for them back then because
Wait,
there was a lot to imagine at the time. Because being in the wrapper,
so many things. Imagination.
So things. It's the height of seductiveness for them back then.
Okay.
A woman just tying a wrapper, on her chest, around her and then nothing else
underneath,
and getting a bit jiggly was the height of seduction for men back then. But now, I mean, we have literally nothing left to our imagination, right? So you really have to help us out because everything has been placed all out there. So in order to get a man going, you need to help him out. And this is absolutely not just about men. Okay. So when the honeymoon phase is over, it also happens to the women.
Yes, it happens to the women as well. When a woman doesn't get that excitement of being with you, like I'm going to hang out with you, ooh, like it's something I look forward to doing. But the thing about the honeymoon phase, it's something that whether you like it or not, it will fade.
That's right.
It's
inevitable.
It's inevitable. It's not going to be there permanently. So whether it fades with you as hurrying things up by not really putting in the effort, it's still going to fade because you're going to spend maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years with this person, and you cannot be in the honeymoon phase throughout the period you're with this person. So yeah, it's definitely going to fade one way or another.
That's right. And very close behind that is taking each other for granted.
Absolutely.
Because once the honeymoon phase is gone, the next thing is you guys are too comfortable.
Yes.
So you don't, the packaging. Right? The packaging you used to, it's no longer there.
Like I mentioned earlier about sometimes it's not about like you're irritated with this person when the honeymoon phase fades. It's
just that you're not too comfortable. You're familiar. Like what's the point?
It's like there's this thing that you can't. There's sometimes even the honeymoon period, you can't fart in front of this person.
Yeah.
When
or you always want to brush first thing in the morning to have that fresh breath.
Lay back down.
Always wanting to take your bath before you go to bed at night.
Amen.
Right? But now you don't care about none of that.
Absolutely not.
So everything is normal for you. You're comfortable, right? And what that does is it injects a degree of, because there was something you were doing before that was exciting for your partner, for your spouse, right? And you stopped doing that. What it does is it brings a gap in the intimacy.
It does.
Right? The excitement goes out the window because you have stopped igniting it.
Yes. It's natural for when that happens. It's not that you don't find each other, you find each other totally unattractive, but you might find the person less attractive.
You find the person ordinary where you probably found the person extraordinary initially. Everything is just there.
Yeah.
And sometimes when that happens, right, there is this lack of the ability or even desire to talk about it, right?
To talk about it. The third.
And that brings us to the third reason why your passion goes out the window in your marriage, because
lack of communication.
You don't talk about it.
It's like communication is something that pops up every part of relationship. If it's money, talking finance. if it's talking, the well-being of the family, whatever discussion, it's communication is at
Key
the center of it all.
to solving problems.
Yes, because if you don't talk, and it's not just talking, I'm talking about honest conversation. Okay, being
intentional
being intentional, being open-minded, because you have to be open-minded to receive what the other is informing you of or letting you in on,
and not be argumentative about
it. Yeah, you probably find yourself it's not
or
something
defensive.
you want to hear.
And also it's in the presentation as well, and that's where the lack begins to happen, because you might find it difficult to get a handle on how to present the conversation, how to start it, because you probably do not want to
hurt the
person. You do not want to start a fight. You don't want to I think the lack of communication comes from avoidance of conflict. So you're trying to not start a conflict, like if it's your husband, hurt him, get him in a bad mood, or start a fight or an argument. So in trying to avoid that conflict, the conversation never happens.
Now, this is actually in a situation where you come across someone who wants to genuinely talk to you about something. Now, there are people who they don't have that ability. They're not good communicators.
Yeah.
So they won't even think of how am I to present or have this conversation, and with that thinking, I wouldn't want to provoke this person, and then they will leave it. It would just be there. While there are people that they wouldn't even start the conversation as, okay, I want to maturely talk to you about this. I want us to discuss this because it's affecting our marriage or it's affecting our relationship. But they would just throw it. But that's not communication. That's actually you aiming to hurt. And that comes up
to start a fight.
Yes, when people are having a squabble or they are having a misunderstanding. So I think communication is one of the, if not the most
biggest,
important,
aspect
of any relationship. Because if you don't communicate, you then have lack of communication. If you don't communicate well, then you miscommunicate.
That's right.
So,
and when all of that happens, you have a gap. Things not said, resentment begins to creep in.
Absolutely.
And with resentment, you begin to draw apart.
And that could in turn destroy.
It begins to stretch the thing that binds you together. And the things that are not working for you will continue to not work for you. Nobody talks about it. Nobody resolves the issue. And the situation continues.
And also, we sometimes find ourselves saying, let me manage it. Let me deal with it. Let me shove it down somewhere. Put it in a box in my head that says never open.
Lock it away somewhere.
Yes. But the thing that is, it actually harms you. And that's where you find yourself that which you cannot get from your partner, because not that your partner can't offer you that if you guys have that conversation and figure it out, but you cannot discuss that lacking there. So if you don't have that conversation
to bring
with
it to
your partner,
their attention.
Yes. You find yourself
looking for the
being tempted
solution outside.
Yeah. Okay. And when it's unfortunately, because it's unfortunate for you guys' relationship.
Yeah.
And someone from nowhere comes in and takes advantage of that miscommunication or that lack of communication gap.
And
certainly.
It further expands the gap.
Yeah.
This is why in the Western world, you see the number one person that comes to my mind is Jennifer Lopez. I mean, she seems to be a lover of love, but at the same time, she seems to be the biggest victim of love.
Like I don't know the issue.
Why does she keep on getting married?
I think she believes that,
She's a huge believer.
Yeah, I think she believes that love should end in marriage, okay? And when it doesn't work out in that marriage, she leaves. I think this is her 5th marriage, I think.
I've lost count. So I think she's a strong woman to actually always put herself out there every single time, even in spite of experiences in the past that were not very pleasant and optimal for her. This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
And the 4th one is life stress and demand. This is a huge one.
It is.
Life's stress and demand can take a toll on the passion that you had in your marriage, when children begin to pop out,
Yeah, it's inevitable.
and the
Like,
mom,
even without the kids,
yeah, even without a kid,
life
your job,
happens.
right?
Life happens. You
Life,
have other
life
stuff
does happen.
demanding your attention.
Stress.
You have other stuff.
Like a market woman,
Taking
for
its
instance,
time.
right? A market woman, for instance. Let's say you are a guy who is married. You have this fantasy, this idea of the kind of woman, the kind of life you want, a woman, a Barbie
Yeah.
type of wife,
Woman.
and you're married to a hustler woman who is a trader, for instance, or she has a shop somewhere. She runs all over the place all day. She doesn't work in an office.
Okay.
She's a businesswoman.
Yes.
Okay. And she runs around all over the place. It comes back not smelling like
Nice.
roses, right? And looking the worse for wear. And she probably crashes on the couch, first thing, stepping into the house. And you don't like that. So she's not looking her best. So this is where a reality check
Yeah,
comes in
kicks
as well.
in.
What you have to marry your expectation to reality.
Yes, you have to marry your expectation to reality. At the same time, I do believe that you cannot want a white cloth and go buy a black material.
Okay.
This is that.
I mean, life is life.
Yeah, life is life. But hold
Maybe
on.
you didn't even marry her when she as a businesswoman.
Hold on, not as a business. Yes, definitely. But now you said reality, and that got me thinking about how you would want a woman who is always snatched and who is always, like wearing whatever kind of outfit you like, but
Looking the part. Picture perfect.
Yes, but her business or her hustle,
Daily routine.
doesn't warrant her to do
Doesn't
that.
allow her to
remember-
look the perfect picture all the time.
There was this time which they get together. So this woman, I've always seen her, at her workplace, like she's a trader. So when I saw her, I was like, wow. I was so like, what is this really her? For me, even as a woman, I underestimated this woman's beauty because of I know she was beautiful, but I didn't know she was really beautiful.
Oh, she wasn't the type to clean up all the time,
all the
like
time,
makeup
because,
and
it's
doll up.
because of the kind of work,
She
what
was
kind of
doing.
business she was running,
Yeah.
where she has to, she had to jump to the next place, to the next nearest village to, bring goods and stuff. And this is a young person. So having to see her in her element, even for me as a woman, I was like, wow. Now imagine her husband.
Yeah.
That's
Who must have been attracted by the
that
element.
See,
And now
all that.
not being able to see that
Yes.
all the time.
Now, I have to think about many women who would want to, or even men, because there are men who you probably, when they're about to take you out, they're probably maybe mechanics. Okay.
Yeah.
And during the time
They'll
of
go
the work,
clean
they
up.
go down and get dirty.
Yeah.
They get greasy and all that stuff. And that's not what you see.
Yeah.
You only see them when they prepare to take you out on Sundays, and when you guys are hanging out, and they can't come out in their work outfit to see you.
Yeah.
Now, when you guys are maybe married,
Yeah.
he
Life.
comes home,
Reality sets in.
sweating, stinking. Sometimes he used to probably do that when he was single, but no one to actually.
He probably brush into the bathroom as soon as he steps into the house, right?
Sometimes he won't even rush
Cleans up, right? And comes out smelling nice. But with time, he doesn't do that anymore.
See, the thing that is, maybe when you guys are dating, when you're still coming to visit, he will impress you, but every time he comes back home, because he knows he stinks, he will go inside the bathroom and take his bath.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
Yeah, and you think that's what he does, but when you're not around, he might not do that.
Right.
Like, who does he have to impress? But now you guys are married,
Yeah.
he will stop doing that.
Yeah. So
you-
that goes back to taking each other for granted, right? But we're talking about life happening and reality setting in the midst of your marriage experience, and that could take a big toll on the passion. So when you keep looking at this woman or you keep looking at this man fading away from the picture you used to have, you'd naturally want to withdraw. And of course, a sexual response to that would be a lack of attraction, a recession in the attraction.
Let's talk about, as a woman, having to give birth. A woman's body changes when that happens. Motherhood takes a toll. the stretch marks, the belly not looking as flat as it was, her not looking snatched.
I saw the belly of a woman, a mother, one time, and it freaked me the heck out. The folds and folds, the wrinkles. I don't know if that was real.
It is real.
The wrinkles all over her tummy.
It is real.
The folds and folds and folds.
It is real. I mean, sometimes you get fortunate your skin is not the type to react excessively to such experience, and you still find your way back to, tighten that. But some people don't get to find that.
So life does happen.
Yes,
and
it does.
It takes a toll, and that could just create a gap in the passion, a gap you have to patch up somehow. Talking about the appearance part of it, but we will get to that eventually. Do not forget that we are talking about what happens when the passion in your marriage fades away. We have 5. We've been going through 5. Currently at number 4, reasons why the passion can fade, the flames of passion burning originally in your marriage, could fade away. And we're getting to the number 5. After that, we jump into how you can fix that flame and make it burn anew. And we have 5 ways you can do that. But there's the number 1 formula. This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
And that brings us to the 5th reason why the passion goes out the window in a marriage,
which is neglecting physical intimacy.
That's right. When you neglect to make more, right? What did they call make more, Abby? When you neglect to do it in a marriage. And as a matter of fact, everything we've talked about so far leads to
that.
The neglect of intimacy in a marriage. So that's the final bus stop, the last bus stop that ends all. And when you get there, the passion begins to go down.
Absolutely.
Or as a matter of fact, the passion might have been going down, but that's the end of it all, right? And you begin to wonder, when did this happen? How did this happen?
How did we get here?
Yeah, it wasn't
a gradual process.
Yeah, it wasn't something that happened in a day. It took an entire process to get there. Now, if you had realized it, if you had identified the trouble spots, you probably could have stopped it. But what can you do? Sometimes you don't really know what to look out for, the signs to look out for. Now you know. And when you know the signs, you'd be better equipped to troubleshoot your relationship.
Absolutely.
So now let's get to the things you can do, because it's not all finished because you're having troubles, right? There's always the solution. There's always something to do to fix it.
Yes. Of course, the first step is finding the problem. Now we're going to go to the solution, which is how to reignite the flame.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS. And number 1 on our list is plan quality time together.
That's right. Make out time to be together. Intentionally.
You have to plan it.
Now, it might be a little difficult to do that, but you just have to do it. Especially when you've had the dousing of passion. You might ask yourself, like, what's the big deal? This is what marriage is about anyway. You're going to tell yourself all kinds of things to make you
naturally.
Yeah. Sometimes you say that this is a natural evolution of marriage, that there is the passionate time and then the less passionate time. So you try and justify it.
Yeah, but you can have both.
And live with it. But you can actually mend it by trying to find creative ways to spend some quality time together. For us, we're not Western people. If not, I would have said, okay, you travel to Dubai, take a weekend vacation.
Well, we're not Western, but there are people who plan.
If you can afford a vacation, by all means do that. Okay?
Yeah, but you can still do a staycation.
Yeah, you can do a staycation, but a staycation doesn't really feel, especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
Right? And you have children running all over the place, unless you send off your kids to...
Yeah, outside staycation, you can still make plans to, go out on a Sunday together. It's still you, both of you spending time together.
Maybe.
It's about both of you being each other's
in each other's space.
attention. Yes.
Yeah, and focus of
undivided attention towards each other. That's it.
Yeah. So whether it's a vacation, whether it's a staycation at home, right? And just enjoying each other's company and going back to the way things used to be, even though I have a feeling that
it will never be the
yeah,
same.
it might be difficult to go back, because after you've seen the man pot belly and you don't really like it, okay? So the pot belly is all over the place. The beer belly is really huge.
I think
it's going to take a lot more than you guys sitting in each other's face to actually fix that. But we're coming to that.
Now, coming to that, like you said, which takes us to the second one, that is engaging in new experience.
Engaging in new experiences. You know, the old run of the mill is something that's ordinary, mundane, just the same old. So having the same run of the mill experiences could really take the toll. Find time to do something exciting. You don't have to travel to do that, right?
Yeah.
You can be creative about having new,
together.
and really interesting experiences. You can do it Netflix at home, right?
Netflix and chill.
At home.
It's natural for new stuff or going through something you've never done before to excite you. So when you two are doing it together, that excitement can actually lead to something.
A refreshing.
Something great.
Yeah.
So that's why
of the passion.
Engaging in new experiences is a huge part of you trying to ignite that flame.
Yeah, if you come home, probably go to work in the morning, come back home in the evening, and then you guys go to bed, you have to change that routine. Okay, inject something fresh into it, something that disrupts, because that routine is also part of the reason why the passion is ebbing.
You already know what's going to come up.
Yeah, what's going to happen next. Inject it, reshuffle it.
Yeah.
Okay, and inject some surprise element into the sequence of things going on.
Yes, and for you to have the number one, number two, the number three must be essential, which is open communication. We talked about lack of communication. Now it's open communication.
That's right.
Now it's something that you have to be intentional with. And when I say intentional, you have to be ready to receive it. You have to be ready to give it. And it might take you thinking about, how am I going to present this to this person? How will this conversation go? You might not even be comfortable starting the conversation, but it's something you have to talk about, because if you don't talk about it, you won't find a solution to it. And if you don't find a solution to it, the problem still remains.
Open communication. So it means you have to be open, no secrets, nothing hidden. Find a constructive way to get the burden off your chest.
Even if it's not a burden, okay, that it's not coming from your end as someone who's the one who's
be open to receiving.
You
know, I wanted to say criticism, but let's not use negative terms. Okay,
certainly.
Be open to receiving ideas, views. Okay,
how to better your relationship.
That might be upsetting.
And
to you in a way.
Be open to receiving it and be open to working it out.
And also in the midst of that conversation, you have to be mindful as well. And I also understand that being too mindful might make you want to pussyfoot around, tiptoe around the conversation, but find constructive ways to be mindful of each other's feelings, right? But at the same time, be effective in communicating the issues so nothing is left
absolutely
unaddressed.
Yes.
So you get to the bottom of whatever is
the issue.
Is the issue.
All right, and the fourth is something we've thrown this word around, that is intentional. And the fourth is be intentional about intimacy.
That's right. And when you're being intentional, it means working with intention. Intention means this is where you are headed. You have a goal and you are headed towards that goal. Yeah. You intend to reach your goal. So when you are intentional
about intimacy,
that
means you have to create atmosphere for it. You have to, let's say,
make a plan for
it. Prepare yourself for it. Create atmosphere for it.
If your work doesn't give you the time of day to do anything else but work, then you have to plan, create time for intimacy. Even if you have to create a calendar for it.
Some people schedule that.
Yeah, some people schedule
make sure
their
that
intimacy just to make sure that
is not
it's not lacking.
It's not lacking, and that might actually mean you have to, even when you're stressed, present yourself to look attractive to your spouse, because you are trying to create that atmosphere. So you don't just want to make out time for it, you also want them to find you attractive.
And ladies, this is where you come in. Yeah, all of those.
Why is it them ladies?
365 times you rejected. Right? I was watching this video of a lady who was saying that she's ready to give it to her man anytime.
I worked all day and he can get it. That's my man and he can get it. If that man comes home tense and stressed out from his day, he can get it. Cause wifey gonna make it okay. Before he goes to the gym, he can get it. Before dinner, he can get it. After dinner, well, who don't like dessert? Hell yeah. He can get it. Sunday morning before church. My God, he can get it. Baby, that man's good to me. So he can get it. You see, this might not work for you and your relationship, but it works for me and mine. So can my man really get it just about any time? Don't play with me, because I takes care of mine. So hell yeah, he can get it. Marriage ain't for the weak, baby.
Be that lady.
Oh dear Lord.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
And that brings us to the last one, which is personal care.
Yes, prioritizing self-care.
This is the number one formula.
It is.
That solves all the problems. When you prioritize self-care, you have to love yourself first before you can love anybody else.
Give what you got, baby.
You have to be passionate about yourself first before you can extend that passion to anyone else. So this is the number one. Once you love yourself, once you are invested in yourself, once you have great esteem for yourself, one thing that does is it's going to make you want to stay fit. It's going to make you not want to have the beer belly. It's going to make you not want to get overweight. Because you prioritize yourself. And once you do that, once you place value on yourself, it's going to show. And that's attractive to anyone and everyone.
Of course, you have to feel good about yourself to make someone else feel good about themselves.
To make someone feel good about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to feel good about yourself
to make someone feel good
about you.
I do think that's actually the number one part of it all.
Yeah, this is the number one formula that fixes everything. If you're not good inside, you can't be good outside. Right. And if you're not good outside, you can't be good to somebody else.
Yeah. And when we're talking, I do recall, we talked about honeymoon phase ending. It's natural for it to end.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
It doesn't.
It's even natural for passion to go down.
To go down. So whenever if you encounter this periods or this stages or whatever happens for whatever reason, don't feel like it's like when someone says it's okay not to be okay. So don't feel like it's something that's abnormal. It's not abnormal. It happens, but you do not stay there permanently.
There you have it. The 5 reasons why the passion can go down in your marriage, and the turnaround, the workaround. 5 ways you can bring the passion right back into that relationship, into that marriage. And of course, the number one formula that fixes everything, prioritizing yourself. Yeah, believing that you are worth something, that you are worth attracting something good, that you are worth having someone care about you. It doesn't matter how many children you've had already. It doesn't matter what has happened to your body.
I think the best way to put it is it doesn't matter the kids you have, but also you living for you as well, not just for your kids. You have to, let life take its toll sometimes, as life demands. Like we said, life happens and demands and stuff like that. But you have to learn to put yourself
first.
Yeah, but remember, don't be selfish. Just be selfless while you take care of yourself.
That's right. So you do that, and in no time, you have the passion burning like wildfire again in your relationship.
Absolutely. But make sure you take it easy on your neighbors, because, sometimes there are people
they make it more.
know how to press neighbors
neck.
Press their neighbor's neck.
And on that very fantastic note, we say thank you very much for hanging with us. You know what to do. Follow us. All right. And until the next time we are here.
Ciao.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.